Hi everybody, it's Honest John. Now, full disclosure, I'm an atheist. But I grew up a Catholic, and I grew up with white Jesus. The images in St. Patrick's Church are of a sandy-haired, light-skinned Savior who would have fit in as easily in Sweden as anywhere else. He certainly did not look like the majority of people who lived in the area where he was supposed to have been born. Now, I have been to black churches where Jesus is pictured as black. And I guess that Arabic Christians, and there are a lot of them in the Middle East, have images of Jesus that looks like them. It is not surprising that Christians of whatever race would have a Jesus that looks like them. But there are right-wing Christians who use their religion to justify their racism. And for them, it is very important that Jesus be white. Their problem is that the people who lived in the area were not. Now, the majority of people who live in Israel today are white, but they are descendants of European Jews who migrated there after World War II. The Palestinians, who now live under the thumb of those white immigrants who were living in that area, are Arabs, as are the Egyptians, the Lebanese, the Jordanians, the Syrians, the Iraqis, the Saudis, the Turks, and so on. These are all Arabic people. Now, the Iranians are descendants of people from the Caucasus, for the most part. This is because Iran is located right next to the Caucasus area. And it was very easy for the people in that area to migrate into Iran. But there is no evidence that they got much further than that. But for right-wing racist Christians, that's just not acceptable. So they have a theory that somehow the people of the Caucasus got to Israel and turned the Hebrews into white people. So Jesus conveniently became a white man. And somehow they were able to do this without having any effect on the surrounding people. So according to them, there was this pocket of whiteness right in the middle of all these Arab lands. Now, it's likely that Jesus didn't exist at all. You would think that with all that he was supposedly doing, that the Romans would have noticed him, or that his reputation would have spread to the surrounding area. But aside from the Bible, there's no mention of him in any historical records or writings of that time. There is no record of the census, for example, that played such an important role in the story of Jesus' birth. And there is no record of any order being given to kill all the children that were born at that time. It seems like that's an order that might have had to have been cleared, that it might have been put on paper somewhere. So it's likely that the Jesus stories are just that, stories, just like so many other stories in the Bible. But if Jesus did exist, the odds are that he was brown. And it is even possible that he was black. After all, it is Africa, and it's not that hard to get from Central Africa, where the black people lived, to Northern Africa. And there are records that indicate that there were black people living in the area throughout history. So it is most likely that Jesus would have been brown. Somewhat likely that he would have been black, and highly unlikely that he would have been white. So here is my question. If conclusive evidence turned up that Jesus did exist, and that evidence indicated that he was brown or black, would the Christian right stop being Christians? Thanks for listening.